Once you realize that it's actually a math game, it helps a lot. It really is a math game. You realize that there's no way you could have gained 4 pounds overnight or 2 pounds.
For some people that are 600 pounds who can't walk up a flight of stairs, there's a reason there's to show my 600-pound life. Don't get gastric bypass surgery. Like, oh my God, go for a walk.
If you get the confidence enough to go to a gym, that's amazing.
Some people who are like, for me, for example, when I did my first workout, bro, I was crying the next day in pain, like, because I'm 370 doing box squats off my couch. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, everything else in between, welcome to some chronological episode that I still don't know of the Start Yesterday podcast. I am here with an esteemed guest, an absolute legend. His name's Adam. We got the same name. It's pretty cool. So this is starting off great. But I feel like, in a way, like brother from another mother. We've met in another universe. But welcome to the show, Mr. Adam Becker.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Excited to talk and get this shit rolling.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this goes, but because we have a lot of similarities on a lot of aspects. You know, we talked already, like being authentic, being true, and I mean, I think it's a good thing and a bad thing. We both probably don't have a filter, and we're very blunt. But some people like it, some people don't. The ones that don't, well,
fuck them.
Yeah, pretty much. I amen. Baruch. So, typically to start every episode, now that we've already offended half the audience and those of them have clicked off because we told them to go fuck themselves, I typically I ask everybody to kind of start with their sob story or like their background, because I mean, most people, maybe obviously people from your audience don't, but like I have a sob story. I lost a lot of weight and whatnot. So I kind of like to get the guests like to see where they're at, what kind of started them, you know, into this genre. Maybe.
Yeah, so I started lifting weights when I was 12 years old. I'm 39 years old now. I was just super weak, super fluffy, all that kind of stuff. Got myself a personal trainer back in the day. Loved lifting weights from the start. And I struggled with my weight for 2/3 of my life. I've done every diet out there. I've tried everything. I've lost 50 and gained 60 more times than I can remember. Like most people that have done this with the diets and all that kind of stuff. And at the start of COVID, essentially, a couple of my friends, you know, said, let's get shredded and do the opposite of what pretty much everyone else is going to do during this time. And off we went, you know, tons of research, tons of all that kind of stuff. You know, my life has not always been glamorous. I've had 2 heart surgeries. I was born with a bicuspid aortic valve, which is a technical term for a leaky valve. Wow. Everyone's born with 3 cusps of their valve. I was born with 2.
Nice.
So I had a surgery when I was 20. They replaced it. The valve failed. And then when I was 29, I had another surgery. And that one is mechanical. So that one's supposed to last for 30 years, man-made titanium.
Nice.
Cool feature of it, actually. You can hear my heart tick.
Oh, that's sick.
Like a clock, yeah. So it's a party trick. So, you know, I tell people to put their head on my chest and they can hear it like a
like you got if you were playing like hide and seek though.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I don't think it's that loud, but yeah, no. So yeah, and then we just, you know, we've been in fitness for forever.
Yeah.
And I really found my passion for it after the whole transformation after COVID and doing it the right way.
Yeah.
You know, without the diets, with the real. It made me really realize that it is a lifestyle and it's not just a diet.
Yeah.
And now I actually hate the word diet because diets fail. You know, they work when you're on them, they fail when you're off them, and all that kind of stuff. So we figured out the right way to do it. We did a lot of research, and I really found my passion for fitness once I saw all the muscles that I've built over the years come through, and Coach Bexx was born.
Yeah, man. So what were you doing before that?
So I had many jobs. So I built up a life when I was younger to do security, to do policing.
Nice.
Police work was my dream job. It kind of still is, to be honest with you. I love it. Mm-hmm. I love the everything about it. And so I did security for years. I worked at Canada's Wonderland. I did undercover security at Sears, at the Woodbine Racetrack, everywhere. So I was really building up my resume when police foundations in Seneca. And then I had my second heart surgery. Now, the only problem with the mechanical valve is you need to take blood thinners for the rest of your life because it's a higher risk of blood clotting. And unfortunately, with that comes you can't get into fights.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. I've almost had I've had a couple big scares. I've almost lost my leg once from something called compartment syndrome, which is internal bleeding. Just from a simple Charlie horse.
Yeah.
You know. So that kind of got put on the back burner. I ended up working for my mother's computer company, just doing sales and administration for years. And then I moved over to my father's company. He owned a medical legal business. I kind of did his bookkeeping. I called myself an unlicensed accountant. And then his business got so big that they needed to actually hire a company. So I was unemployed to an extent. I actually became a real estate agent because it was the kind of the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm still a real estate agent to this day. But the problem with real estate is if you don't start when you're 18, 20, everybody knows a real estate agent, right? So it's really hard to build up that sort of clientele base. So I'm still a real estate agent for friends and family. I'm not going to find new clients. You come to me, you say, I want you to sell my house. I'm your guy. Yeah. Right? But that's about it.
That's the way it should be, though.
Yeah, exactly. And from that, we, it's actually my sister's idea that I become a personal trainer. And it was kind of just like click, like, oh my God, of course. Like, why haven't I done this sooner? And that's that.
So what's the biggest thing that, I mean, you mentioned like the sustainability thing, and I guess we'll touch on like diets and hacks and whatnot, but like what's the biggest thing that really worked for you? Or is that's it? You just realize like stop doing the crash diets basically.
Stop doing the crash diets. You know, I learned about calorie deficit. I learned about low calorie dense food. Greg Doucette, love him or hate him. He's, I consider him my idol.
Idol?
Not anymore.
Okay, good.
Okay. I don't like his new stuff. I hate his new stuff. I hate the reaction. I hate all that stuff.
That's exactly what I was going to say, bro.
But if you look 5 years ago at his stuff, it was gold.
Even I think he started getting big in like 2016. Not 2016, 2019, 2020. Yeah. But
that was when his stuff was still sort of good. Like
he did it to help people.
Yeah, he did it to help people.
And I don't blame where he's at now, but I think this is like it kind of like is almost with everything with social media. Some people genuinely start with like, I want to help people, and they start with good intentions. Then they get really big, and then they get greedy, and then they lose sight on their mission, and then they just basically just like market, like, bro, he's just basically making clickbait content so then people see his shit and go buy supplements that suck.
But, he's done, respect for Greg, he's done the research, I guess you could say. So he'll post a video, and he posts about this. He'll post a video now of dieting, of how to, exercise properly, and it'll get, 10,000 views. And then he'll post the Sam Sulek reaction video, and it gets 200,000 views. Yeah. Like, it's...
No, I don't blame what he's doing now, but...
it's unfortunate.
When someone says I really like Greg, I'm like, which version, basically, right? Because it's hard to credit where credit's due. It's hard to stay completely consistent and authentic and like have a decade of people not hating you. Especially in the internet. Like you say one wrong thing, then your entire what's it called? Your entire brand is tarnished, right? Your reputation. There we go. But yeah, I don't know. Old Greg was really good. I learned a lot from him, and in terms of like the calories in, calories out, or the cookbook stuff. And then I like the old Greg. I don't like the current Greg. I don't think anybody likes the current Greg.
No.
I don't think Greg likes the current Greg. He just likes the money that's associated with the current Greg.
And you got to give him props for plugging his product at literally every opportunity possible.
I don't think he could do it more.
No,
I really don't think. Bro, I'm just waiting for the day he gets like his HTL or whatever it is tattooed on his forehead. But whatever. Like at least it's dad, and it's not like, I don't know. It's not like he's pushing like Ozempic or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, these their own. I do understand like you want to monetize your audience and be a business, but there's more ethical ways to do it. Like the best example I can give is like Jeff Nippard, right? Like he's like probably one of the only people I can think of in fitness for like a straight decade. Nobody can say a bad word about him. And he has his macro factory, and he has his books, and like he doesn't push it down your throat all the time. Granted, he doesn't have a supplement company, and I'm sure if he did, he would probably...
Mike Van Wyck can say something bad
about that guy, man. I mean, like, we both live in the same vicinity. I don't want to... I mean, granted, was 100 people going to see this? So if someone wants to clip this and send it to him, he can. I think he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, have you ever seen him in person?
I saw him once. I saw him twice, actually, because I was at Pure, and I saw him train a client, and I was just thinking in the back of my head, I was like, why is someone paying him money to do this? Like,
fucking monster.
But like, not even like... He looks gross, and like I'm not even like, I actually like his tattoos. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like he looks like an unhealthy amount of weight. He looks like I don't know, like he's cosplaying as a what do you call a white gorilla? There's a word for
albino.
it. Yeah, he looks like he's cosplaying as an albino gorilla, basically. And he's just a piece of shit. Like he's like the best way to describe how much of a piece of shit Mike is like when anybody said anything negative or says anything negative about him on his Instagram, he'll block them.
No.
You know, and he can't take any criticism.
No.
Right? And then the whole incident, I don't need to know the whole situation. All I know, and I don't know Jeff personally, but like all I know is that very unlikely he provoked Mike. Mike is on a shit ton of gear and it changes your DNA and genetics, and then he got pissed off. But handle it like a man, and that doesn't mean beating the shit out of someone like you're 18 times the size of him. Even if they were the exact same size, if that was Shaquille O'Neal, whatever. Talk it out. Like violence in that case is really not going to result in anything, right? But whatever. God bless whatever happens to him. I mean, he should. Well, charges were pressed. He should be arrested.
Yeah.
He'll probably fight it, whatever. But I don't know how the whole that is gonna work now. He's at a different gym because he got banned from.
You know what gym he's at?
It's on his Instagram. I forget. It's still a GTA. But what I don't understand is why I can't comprehend is why would any business want to associate themselves with him. I understand he has like a following and whatever, but like his whole cult of people, they're all like really pieces of shit, right?
I don't know.
Anyways, that's with the Greg and the Jeff. But back to, I guess, you. So we're talking about Greg. What topics or I guess what things did you take from him that like you used? Obviously the calories in, calories out. But
the calories in, calories out. The low calorie dense food was massive, and people don't understand the concept of it. You know, diets. So diets, in my opinion, fail for two reasons. They're either too restrictive or you're starving yourself, which is kind of the same concept, and they both lead to the same thing, which is essentially binge eating. So the whole low cal, like my whole dieting philosophy is I want to be full all the time, which a lot of people want to be.
Yeah.
But usually when you want to be full all the time, it's going to cost you 6,000, 7,000 calories. And Greg it's not his idea, but
he popularized it.
He popularized
like
it.
in this like new gen with internet and whatnot.
Yes, absolutely. He popularized it, and you know, like when I originally did my original diet, I was eating, you know, for breakfast 500 grams of egg whites in this massive omelet with a bunch of egg. Like it kept me full for 7 hours. You know what I mean? For 600 calories. Yeah. Like it was insane. His, you know, train harder, the train harder style.
Train harder than last time.
Yeah, like train harder than last time. That was a big one. Just the techniques of when he was exercising, just how he did stuff back in the day when he was, you know, back in the competing zone and he was the locked inness, you know, and all that kind of stuff. It resonated with me. It hit me really hard, and it just changed me.
So you said you tried a lot of diets. Like, what did you try? Or what didn't you is probably the better
answer. I tried basically everything. I did carnivore really young when I was like 15.
And that's before anybody knew probably what it was.
Yeah, that was when my Israeli-Russian trainer told me to just eat meat. And I loved it because, you know, but before I realized that when you eat carbs, you retain water, and you eliminate carbs, you eliminate the water. I was eating a ton of protein and losing weight. So it was fantastic at the time before I knew anything about calories. I tried keto, you know, and then I, you know, had the epiphany, like, I don't care what anybody says, you know, when you put bacon and butter in your coffee, it can't be healthy.
I agree.
It can't be good for your heart. I don't care what anybody says. I even did... what else? I did, I don't know if you ever heard of a diet called isogenics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did isogenics. Isogenics to me was the only diet that worked.
Interesting. Because
it took the brain out of it. It was as simple as can be. What am I gonna have for breakfast? You're gonna have a shake. What am I gonna have for lunch? You're gonna have a shake. What am I gonna have for dinner? I'm gonna have chicken and broccoli. Right? So there was no thinking. That and one of my big things when it comes to dieting now is pick 7 to 10 meals and cycle through those meals, because you don't want too many options. You want stuff that you know you like, that hits the macros, that hits the goals, that fills you up, that you enjoy, and you're not dreading it. People have this weird, and myself included, you know, have this misconception that dieting is horrible. And don't get me wrong, it's not fun, it's not great, but it could be a lot better than a lot of people make it out to be.
Tolerable.
Yeah, it could be, exactly, it could be tolerable.
So actually, that's a really good strategy or hack. It's actually pretty similar to what I get clients to do, where it's like you just have your like rotation. You know, I maybe even 10 meals. I might overwhelm people, but like 3 to 5, whatever. Because that's by default what I've basically done and how I've been able to kind of just chill like the last like 2-3 years. I just have what I like, and that's pretty much it. I just follow that, right? So in terms of like the hacks with the low calorie foods, the volumes, like what would you? Are there anything specific that you would advise?
In terms of low calorie food,
Yeah, like
that fills you up?
the high volume stuff.
Well, like egg whites.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the self-explanatory one. Egg whites is unbelievable. But I tell everybody and all my clients there is a healthy version or a low calorie version of literally every food out there. You just either need to find it or, God forbid, make it.
Or make it, yeah.
But for instance, in the summer I have these blue menu Angus beef burgers. Right, they're frozen burgers. They're 160 calories a burger. Next to them at the grocery store, there's the keg burgers, which are 450 calories a burger.
Those ones are so good.
Right. Those
ones are so good.
Fair enough. And that brings in my next point, which is you have to change the mindset because the 160 calorie burger is not going to taste like
it's not.
But it's going to be a 6 or 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's going to fill you up. You can have 2 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For less calories than the one. And like Halo Top ice cream. That's one of my favorites.
You don't have a Ninja Creamy?
I do, but I know.
Halo Top, man, that can't compare to Ninja anymore.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Laziness, though, I guess.
Laziness factor. Yeah. That's a strict laziness factor.
But it doesn't. The Ninja Creamy takes like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm still. Wow, that's great. I mean, granted, you have kids. You have a good excuse.
But don't get me wrong. I've done the protein ice cream before.
Yeah.
Because of Greg and the hold it over your head and all that.
I didn't like that.
The hold it over your head.
No, the blender ice cream version. Like it was okay, but it was like very meh.
Yeah.
And then when the Ninja Creamy came out,
I've had a buddy of mine. I don't think I actually have a Ninja Creamy. A buddy of mine made me ice cream, and yes, it tastes.
It's insane. It's really good.
But for me, it's Halo Top, right? And again, Halo Top in the grocery store, for the lazy people, let's say, is right next to Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
For a third of the calories.
It's less, not. A pint of Ben and Jerry's is 1,200.
Yeah, it's Halo
Top. Oh, for the whole pint.
For the whole pint. I'm talking whole. I ate the holes, right?
So, no, that's valid. No, that's really good. So you're not going to stop halfway.
Yeah, no. So I'm talking whole pints. Yeah. It's got protein in it. And don't get me wrong, it's not going to taste like Ben and Jerry's, but it's going to remind me of ice cream. It's going to fill me up. It's going to take me 45 minutes to eat it. And I'm good.
Well, and because you save the calories, like for some people, if that doesn't still satisfy their sweet tooth or their cravings, they could take the Halo Top and add bullshit to it. They could add caramel sauce or they could add.
I'm a big believer in the 80-20 rule, right?
I prefer 90-10, but for most people, an 80-20 is
80-20, 90-10, same shit.
Yeah, well,
for me, if you've hit your protein, for me, the only macro that really matters, unless you're competing, is protein. I don't think carbs and fats are that super important. So for me, as long as you hit your protein goals and you got calories to spare, you can essentially, you got 300 calories to spare, you can eat a 300 calorie cookie. Me, on the other hand, the way my brain works is I look at that 300 calorie cookie and then I look at 3 chicken breasts and I'm like, well, these are going to fill me up way more.
Yeah.
It's not going to taste like a chocolate chip cookie, but I'm going to want more. One chocolate chip cookie ain't going to do anything for me.
You could put, what do you mean? You could put non-sugar added Hershey sauce on it. I heard some people have done that, like, because like sometimes when you're like deep in prep or like you're kind of need that.
People do crazy things.
So I guess what was the biggest struggles that you faced with your weight, and how did you overcome it? Or is it pretty much just like the inconsistency part?
The yo-yo.
Yeah.
The yo-yo is always tough because you always put on more than you lose because you're so restricted that then when you go back and it never comes back crazy fast. I mean, it sort of does. It's I describe weight loss like gambling, but in like reverse. So you can sit at a blackjack table and it'll take you 24 hours to win $1,000, right? But it'll take you 5 seconds to lose it.
That's valid.
Right? So same concept of weight loss, but in reverse. So it takes you 6 months to lose 20 pounds and then it seems like you can gain it back in 3 weeks. So yeah, just the yo-yo aspect of it. I've lost, I want to say 4 times I lost 50 pounds, but gained 60 back. Because it doesn't creep up on you, but it creeps up on you because I'll start Monday, or that mindset was in play for me back then. Or you fuck up and you have an Oreo cookie and then you're like, oh well, today's ruined. Right? So then you have a sleeve of the Oreo cookies and now your 80 calorie Oreo cookie turned into 600 calories worth of Oreo cookies.
Been there.
Yeah, a lot of us have been there. And once I turned it, once you realize that it's actually a math game, it helps a lot. It really is a math game. Calories are numbers, pounds are numbers. One of the biggest things that scare people, well, from what I've seen, is the inconsistency of the scale, the fluctuations. It's going to happen. Nobody goes straight down. Nobody goes straight down. The whole thing is you're trending down with like lower lows and lower low bounce backs. That's the whole thing. But you're always going to bounce back. So when you start understanding and tracking, I'm a big tracker. When you start understanding the numbers and the tracking of the whole thing, you realize that there's no way you could have gained 4 pounds overnight or 2 pounds. I went to Florida for 6 days. I came back 13 pounds heavier. Like, this was 2 weeks ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 13 pounds heavier. I didn't even eat that bad.
Yeah.
It was just dehydration mixed in with sodium, mixed in with water, I lost 10 pounds in 3 days.
Yeah.
Right? But that would kill people to see that. But I know that I do the math. 13 pounds was 45,000 extra calories, right? On top of it all, I'm like, there's no chance I ate that. Maybe I ate 10,000 extra, okay? So maybe I put on 2 pounds. But, that shit is what really scares people. And I'm trying to get people to realize that it's not real. That's what I call it, not real.
I mean, that's pretty valid, yeah, when it comes to the math. And I feel like a lot of people they focus way too much on the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing's linear.
No.
It's like, you invest money into whatever. Like, it's not, I would hope, like, it makes money every year. That's not what happens with the stock and whatever. But they freak out.
People forget also that it takes them 10 years, to get that 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds overweight. And then when in 3 months, when they haven't dropped half of it, they quit.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't working. Or they, God forbid, they had a bounce back, the first bounce back.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I ate nothing yesterday. I only ate salad. And then the next concept, sorry, I can talk about this forever. Then the next concept is healthy eating isn't necessarily low calorie eating. Right? That's a big one.
Well, I find as a society, healthy, you get labeled that you have a diet when you're actually just eating healthy.
Well, yes, but my point is, like salads.
Yeah. They're not actually
you add a pound of dressing and it's no longer healthy.
Caesar salad is not healthy.
Well, yeah, exactly. Caesar salad is not healthy. I think the salad at McDonald's is actually more calories than a Big Mac and fries.
1,000%.
Right. So like.
Wait, and fries? I don't know. As a Big Mac, 100%. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I can actually look that up. That's nuts. Because
like a Big Mac and fries is 950 calories.
Yeah, you would know.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Because
we would know. Yeah.
I include that shit. I track it. Right. If I'm gonna have a Big Mac and fries, I'm tracking that shit. But yeah, for me, a big trick is finding foods that remind me of the real version of that food. I don't know if you've seen. I've started working with this company, Dream Crust Pizza.
Oh, I've seen them. Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. Like it's look, if you like frozen pizza, you'll love this pizza because it's just a good frozen pizza that has 70 grams of protein, 80 grams of fiber, and only 800 calories. Like you
can slam the whole thing. Or for some people, honestly, that's too much. You can eat
half of it.
Yeah.
Right. For me, I slam the whole thing easy, but it's unbelievable. Code Bexx.
Shameless plug. Clip that. So I guess with the art surgeries, like, how did you prepare for that? Like, honestly, it's not easy. And then there's probably like a recovery to that, right?
Yeah. So my father's a family physician. He's the one that actually caught the leaky valve when I was 3 years old. So from there, I was monitored. We actually, back in the day, they didn't have the technology in Toronto yet. So I actually, once a year, I had to go to Boston for the day for the technology, to the ultrasound and all that kind of stuff. So originally, I was supposed to have the surgery when I was about 13. And then I started working on it when I was 12, and it actually postponed when it was never going to get better, but it stopped getting worse for a little bit, if that makes sense. So it ended up postponing it to when I was like 19, 20 years old, to the point where we're now in the gray area. It was never going to get better, but now it's slowly starting to get worse again. Mm-hmm. And you want to, of course, operate before it's desperate and dire. So we had the first surgery when I was 20. And that was an ordeal. So we had the best surgeon in Toronto, literally, like world-renowned surgeon, did conferences in the state, the whole deal. His name was Tyrone David, great guy. And I was the 1 in a million, or the 1 in a billion. When I say that, and this guy's flawless. This guy's performed this surgery 14 billion times. He does 6 a day. And for me, I had some internal bleeding, and they couldn't figure out what it was. So you have the surgery. Surgery lasts an hour and a half. Doctor comes out. My family's there. Says everything's okay. I'm in recovery. When you have a heart surgery, they put in chest tubes to drain excess fluid out. So there was blood exiting the chest tubes, which is not supposed to happen. So they opened me up again, and they tried to find if there was a nick or a tear or something. They couldn't find anything. So they closed me up. So they put plasma in me to try to thicken, thicken my blood to try to get it to clot. So they closed me up, go back into recovery. Now there's still blood coming out of the chest tubes, but it's clotted blood. So the clotting worked, but clearly there's something that's in me that they can't figure out. So my surgeon actually had to leave to do a conference in the States, and someone else, the backup cardiologist, opened me up, which in my opinion I think is actually better because it's a fresh set of eyes.
Interesting.
And he actually caught that there was a nick in an artery on the opposite side. So heart's on the left, on the right side there was a tear in one of my arteries or whatever. He patched it. We were good to go. I was, it really, mind over matter is huge, and this is really where mine developed because I wanted to get better. You want to get better, you get better. You want to get better, you do everything that's possible to get better. I was out of the hospital in 5 days. Don't get me wrong, recovery is 6 months.
Yeah.
Because for heart surgery they have to crack the sternum, right? It's very painful, not fun.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And yeah, so then they closed me up and I was good to go after that. I remember it was an hour and a half procedure. I woke up 48 hours later. I should have woken up 5 hours later.
Wow.
Yeah, so they kept me under the whole time. I remember vividly waking up for about 1 minute in the recovery or the ICU, and my sister standing at the end of the bed, and who knows, I might have dreamt this. And she says to me, "Do you know what happened?" And I say, "No." And she's like, "They had to open you up 3 times." And I just said, "Bullshit." And I passed out. And that was it. So yeah, that was the first heart surgery. So I lost 75% of my blood. I had 3 blood transfusions. It was a touch and go there for a little bit. After that, I still was overweight. I still did my workout here and there and my inconsistency and all that stuff. And then the second surgery was actually the surgery itself went great. Mm-hmm. But before the surgery, I went in for my usual cardiologist appointment. I go in once a year, and the doctor looks at my records and whatever, and he looks at all the tests, and he goes, "Are you experiencing any symptoms? Any shortness of breath? Any this? Any that?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Okay, you got to go upstairs and book your next heart surgery. You need it in about a week." Yeah. So I went from routine checkup to now you need your second heart surgery in a week. The valve is failing. It's calcifying essentially, which means it's closing up. And booked the next heart surgery. A little traumatizing, but booked the next heart surgery. We were good to go. I had to be strong for, my mom. So give the big thumbs up on the way into the room. And that one went fine. They replaced it mechanically. I remember I woke up and I asked my dad, who was in the room, I go, "Dad, I hear, because he's a doctor, I hear it ticking." Like I could hear it right away. Mm-hmm. I'm like, "I hear it ticking." And he's like, "Oh." Because nobody told us that. You think they would tell you? You're gonna wake up and you might hear a tick.
Ideally,
yeah. So he says, "Oh, maybe that's just a side effect of the anesthesia." So okay, so whatever. Day goes by, I still hear the ticking. Then my dad's like, "Hold on, let me see something." And he feels my pulse, and he's like, "Tell me when it ticks." And I tell him, "Tick, tick, tick." He's like, "Oh yeah, that's your pulse. That must be a side effect in quotes of the valve." But now I feel like a superhero because I can tune it out and then tune it back in when I need to.
Understandable.
So yeah, and everything has been gravy since then.
So then, what advice would you have for people that have a serious medical condition or serious surgeries that still want to train hard or to get back into it?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it depends on what kind of surgery. Mm-hmm. Of course. Now, one of the things about me, they've told me I should not work out.
Ever?
Pretty much.
What the fuck?
So the thing about this kind of stuff, they tell you not to strain. So I can't go to true failure.
Yeah, okay, that
right?
makes sense.
I can't do that because that puts too much pressure on the heart, on the valve, all that stuff. So I still train, and don't get me wrong, I still do a little bit, but I try to breathe as much as I can, and I really try to avoid that kind of stuff. honestly, in terms of, again, it depends what surgery, what everything, but anything, the gym is an amazing place. I mean, once you accept it as, forget the physical benefits. The physical benefits are amazing, don't get me wrong, but the mental benefits are really where the money's at. That is really, the physical benefits are the tip of the iceberg. The mental benefits are like the whole fucking iceberg. Like, do anything. One of my big mottos is anything is really better than nothing. Back in the day, I bruised my finger, I wouldn't go to the gym, right? 6 months ago, I tore my calf, I was in the gym training upper body. It's really, mindset is so big when it comes to that stuff. Just do it. Like, just do it. Shia LaBeouf, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
It's funny you say that. I say this to all my clients all the time. If I had a slogan like tomorrow for, I guess, if I had to make one for like Puffy got Puffy or for fitness, it would be consistency is better than failure.
Oh,
right?
100%.
Because so many people, they just want to, they like you said, let's be real, like you're 100 pounds overweight. It didn't take you 10 days to do that. It took you a decade. So like, if you fail 1 week, but then you don't the next and you get back on, like it's a matter of people just stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they think they need to go 0 to 60, and no, you just need to stay at like 50.
Yeah.
Like literally 50% is better than 0, because if you do 50% one day and the next day and the next day, then you can go to 55%. But if you go from 50% to 100, or if you go from 0 to 100 to then 0 to 100, that's still so much worse than just 50, 50, 50, 50.
Oh, yeah. The all or nothing mentality never works.
Nah, never has, never will. So, I mean, on that aspect, like in terms of like coaching, what's your kind of style, approach, anything unique?
So I consider myself like a self-proclaimed strength training and optimization specialist.
Interesting. It's a mouthful.
Yeah. Yeah. Self-proclaimed. So I'm really good at
allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm really good at strength training. I'm really good at coaching. I'm really good at pushing clients. Mm-hmm. I follow the basics: progressive overloading, form trumps all, time under tension, mind muscle connection, that comes later on. But it's really, one of the things I post about a lot is, the really jacked guys online never post what they actually do because it's boring.
100%.
This shit's boring. Like it's not boring, but it's boring. Like it's boring for viewers. It's not boring to do it because you enjoy doing it. It's boring for views because it's literally the basics. They're not the Bosu ball handstand and the squat on a fucking one leg with the.
Or you take the machine, you fucking flip upside down.
Yeah. I just saw this thing the other day. I forget who someone posted about it. It was a guy doing a chest press with the leg press machine.
Yeah,
it was brand new. Like literally, he's doing what the fuck,
bro?
Like
just do a dumbbell.
Just do a chest press.
Well, that wouldn't even work your chest. That'd be more for tricep. Oh my god!
Like, you know what I mean? Like it just makes no sense. Like that shit gets views, but that's not what got him jacked. Trust me, you're not getting a 3D chest doing a chest press. Maybe
if you're Shaq.
Maybe,
but that's about it. But no, I actually, so I completely agree with that because and the thing with that also is when people like they'll go on Instagram, TikTok, and they'll see, okay, this guy did that, and I'm going to do it. It doesn't work like that because they don't actually post what they do. If people, whether fitness influencer, whatever you want to call it, if people actually posted what their workouts are, and the smart ones will always say this, you'll get bored of that shit. Because, like, I don't know about you, but for me, my workouts, I literally maybe change once a year. The only difference or caveat would be, like, if I'm cutting or not, I don't really bulk. It's just if I'm cutting or if I'm maintaining, then I just might change the intensifiers or intensity techniques. But other than that, I stick with the same shit, right? And that's what actually gets results because consistency is better than failure. If you have a different work, like some people, okay, you want variety, sure, change your shit every 4 months. But like if you change your shit every week, even every month, then A, it's a nauseating headache, and B, you can't actually do the most important variable with resistance training, which is progressive overload. You literally can't, because if you're changing the exercise, it doesn't, whether you change the order or whatever, but if you're changing the exercise every single week, every single day, every single month, you can't get better than the week before because you restarted. Right?
Absolutely.
So I guess what are like some big fitness myths you wish people would stop believing?
Confuse the muscles, which is essentially what we just talked about, right? People think confusing.
Oh, you have to change the brain.
Exactly. People think confused. Like, first off, muscles don't have a brain.
Yeah. Oh, no, they do. What are you talking about?
So, like, confuse the muscles and do these crazy exercises. That's one of the biggest ones,
Yeah, you're going to tell yourself you're going for leg day, but you don't.
Yeah,
you do chest.
Yeah. Another one I like to debunk is soreness equates a better workout. I don't believe in crazy soreness, and I tell my clients that if they ever encounter a trainer that's very happy that they're really sore the next day, then that's a bad trainer.
I completely agree. The only caveat would be like if they're complete novice.
Oh, of course, but even still, start them slow. Right?
Yeah, but like some people who are like, for me, for example, when I did my first workout, bro, I was crying the next day in pain, like. Because I'm 370 doing fucking box squats off my couch, right? So I literally, dude, it was so bad. My dad had to help me walk up the stairs to go piss in the morning.
Oh shit!
Like, but that's an extreme example. Yeah. However, there's like if you're in that position, there's really nothing you could do for pretty much the first like 2-3 weeks. Yeah. But yeah, if you're not in that extreme of a scenario and like you're like really bad pain, like it's just you don't need to go to that extreme ever.
Yeah, never. What else? Let's see. Sweating equates to better workout. People associate sweat with better workout. Those are like the two main ones I tell my clients. Like just for the record, I don't want you to be super sore tomorrow. Yeah. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because I want you to work out tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
And I want you to work out the next day.
Yeah.
And you won't if you're crazy sore.
No, like if you got a good stimulus, like you'll feel it the next day.
You'll feel it.
It's like if you did shoulders to the point where you can't like text someone the next day, that's just dumb.
Or you can't sit on the toilet.
Right? Yeah, or you did legs and like you're shaking walking up and down the stairs. That's just unnecessary.
No bueno.
No, it's just like what's the point of it? Yeah, sweating is that's a huge myth and misconception.
Yeah. Another one that I don't know if it's a myth or misconception, but people forget how long it takes to build actual muscle.
Yeah.
They expect it quick. And that's I guess you could say that's one of the beauties of it is it takes instant gratification out of the equation. So it's good and bad because everyone wants instant gratification, but it also teaches you that good things come to those who wait or those who work hard and wait. That kind of stuff.
Well, I feel like society is now it's getting worse and worse and worse. First we had like Instagram or Facebook, then we had TikTok, then before TikTok there was Amazon Prime, then there was TikTok, and now there's AI. So all humans want is just quick, instantaneous results. But it's like the same. I think the biggest takeaway from this is like if you're 300 pounds, it didn't take you 10 days to get there. Exactly. You can't do it at Amazon Prime overnight shipping to remove that. You can go get gastric bypass surgery and shit. Even if you did that, it's still gonna take a year, and then you're gonna regret it. That's a story for another day. But almost every person that I know that did a sleeve or gastric bypass, they regret it because they feel like shit. They can't put on muscle.
They can't eat anything.
They can't do anything. Yeah. Oh my god, it's so dumb.
Yeah.
Right. I'd rather them take Ozempic than do gastric bypass because at least Ozempic is reversible or not reversible, but you can see how stupid it is and then stop it. You can't do that once you like literally you can't cut your stomach in half. Well, fuck, you're fucked now. I mean, for some people that are 600 pounds who can't walk up a flight of stairs, there's a reason there's to show my 600-pound life. Yeah, that's an extreme measure. That's the only time I would believe it's acceptable. But if you're 300 pounds and you're like 40 years old and you think you did everything under the sun, and you did Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and you hate Oprah and you hate Jenny Craig because you stuck to it for like a week and then you gave up, don't get fucking gastric bypass surgery. Like, oh my god, go for a walk.
Yeah. But everyone wants a quick fix.
Everyone wants a quick fix because it's instant gratification. It's going to happen overnight. No, it's not going to happen overnight because if it was easy, everybody would do it and there wouldn't be an obesity crisis and like 70% of North America wouldn't be overweight, right?
That's a great point. Yeah, I always say, like, if it was easy, everyone would be fit. Like, everyone would be in great shape. Like, I see these images all the time. It's like 1970 beach, and it's all these, like, skinny, fit people. And then 2024 beach, and it's everybody's fat.
But with that, it's also society where it's gone, right? Oh, so a lot to do, like in the 70s, technology obviously didn't really exist. So not a lot of people necessarily worked out, but they were more active because they just had to by default. Maybe transportation wasn't as viable. Like Uber didn't exist, whatever, all this shit. And also they couldn't vegetate in front of a screen if they wanted to like go and entertain themselves. Some people just go for a walk.
Well, I remember like again with memes there, it's like, in 1999, you knew where all the kids on the street were, and it's like a picture of a house with a bunch of bikes in front of it. That doesn't exist anymore.
No, yeah, bro, I don't even see kids play outside.
No, they don't.
Like the street hockey or the road hockey type thing.
Nothing.
No, I mean, video games is okay, but that shouldn't be like their main social interaction. But
it is.
It's I know it's bad, dude. It's bad. Like I'm waiting for the day, which is coming sooner than later, where like there's I forget what it's called. But it's like basically like a walk track, and like you put yourself into like a. You ever see the movie Ready Player One? So that's coming pretty soon. Like there's a couple companies that are basically mimicking that. You won't necessarily even need like a VR headset, but like that is a good thing because you could. I like if I had a kid and I would get the kid, okay, if you want to play video games, at least be active and do it. Yeah. Right? Because like one of the biggest hacks that helped me, I played video games 12 hours a day. And what really helped me was learning that I could still play video games 12 hours a day, but I could move too. So I literally just would like very slowly walk on a treadmill and play COD.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like the same thing,
Yeah.
right? So is there any other like, I guess, big mistakes you think people make when trying to lose weight or anything else?
Well, the all or nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's a given. And a lot of people do the all or nothing. I'm trying to talk one girl off the all or nothing mindset.
It's hard.
Now.
A lot of it is subconscious.
Oh, yeah.
So
I did it.
Yeah. So with me, my process with a lot of clients, or not a lot, almost every client, we start with like a whole thing of like mindset training. Where I'm not like a therapist per se, but
No, we are.
in a way, well, I say we're cheaper than therapists. Like, why pay someone 150, 180? My therapist was 180 an hour. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Why pay someone 150 an hour when you could pay someone, I don't know, whatever, 300-400 a month and get healthy and still talk shit and actually get good results? But that's just, I mean, sure, call me a biased party,
No,
but I think it's logical.
Oh,
like, I actually had a client who stopped going to his therapist because he realized I was not better, but it was more effective. And he's getting muscle, he's building, learning nutrition. But how do we get on this topic? Yeah, the all or nothing mindset. So the subconscious mind. When I get a client to sign up, I give them basically like, we obviously do like the, hey, thanks for signing up, the onboarding call, all that stuff. But I give them like a mindset training video, which kind of explains to them the difference between people who have success and people who don't. And the biggest thing and the biggest difference is people that take action. And then, like we kind of already touched on, the biggest people that fail or don't get results are the ones that like the second they lose that initial inertia and the spark of motivation, they quit. And then they blame literally everybody, everything else, instead of themselves. And then they call us, you, like coaches, the person they hired, a scam, right? I have a client, he told me about a crazy lady, I don't even remember her name. It's a good thing I don't, because otherwise I would say it. But she basically hired, she's on her like 9th nutritionist in, I think like 6 years or something, or maybe even less than that. And the most recent one, she paid this nutritionist or dietitian 6 months in full. She tried it for 2 weeks. The nutritionist was like, send me pictures of your meals. She would send her pictures of their meals, but not what the nutritionist told her to do. She would send her like fucking waffles with whipped cream, right? And she's like, lady, I can't eat the food for you. And then, I mean, the sad ending of it, which was whatever. It's like, no, she didn't magically just lose weight. She tried to like sue the dietitian.
Oh my God.
But again, to blame everybody, everything except for yourself. And it's like, I understand, like some people can't take responsibility, won't take responsibility. That's okay. That's why they're in that position. But chances are, like if you're hiring someone or service or coach, whatever, and like it's not working, it's probably due to the fact of you're miscommunicating or you're just not taking action, right?
I gotta, I hate people that complain about not seeing results from the work they're not doing.
Yeah, amen. I will be the biggest ear hole in the world if you want to complain you're doing the work. But that never happens.
No.
Because most of the time that people do the work, they don't have anything to really complain about. There are obviously nuances, but like majority, it doesn't really work like that. So what's the best piece of advice for people who like want to like get stronger or lose weight, but they don't exactly know where to start?
Get a trainer.
Yeah, that's good. Well,
I mean,
shameless plug.
But not just because I'm a trainer, because just get it. Like,
no, but even you know from personal experience, like way back in the day, you said you hired a trainer.
I hired a trainer when I was 12. It just teaches you the groundwork. Like my philosophy on training is, look, if you want to stick with me for your whole life, that's amazing. But that's not my mission.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I keep stuff simple. Because I want you, I hate those trainers that give you so complicated exercises that you need that trainer for the stuff.
They do it intentionally.
Of course they do it intentionally. But my motto is, I want you to work out on your own. And if you get the confidence enough to go to a gym, that's fucking amazing. Good for you. Like, you don't need me. You've blossomed past me. I've done my job. That's my job, is to get you the confidence, to build you up a little muscle, to give you a plan. And if you can eventually do it on your own, amazing. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be as good as when you're with me because of the push factor and all that other stuff. But it's still amazing that you are going to tackle this now on your own.
I pretty much say the same thing. I like training. Like, I know I did a good job as a coach or as someone's trainer when they don't necessarily need me. They want to continue working because they don't need to.
Yes,
continue
exactly.
Like I've obviously worked with clients for years, but it's not because they need to. It's because they want to. They like the accountability. They like not having to figure out what the fuck to do, the nutrition, the training. But there's also a lot that have like, literally, they'll be like, okay, well, it's been 6 months. It's been a year. I know everything I need to know now. Thank you. Bye. Well, I mean, we'll still stay in touch. But like, they don't need to continue. And it's like, I did my job, right? I completely agree with that. So in terms of mindset, do you have any things, recommendations, like mindset shifts people need to kind of make to come when it comes to sustainability, or just like stop with the all or nothing mindset?
It's just get motivated and keep that motivation until discipline kicks in. Because motivation fades, right? Discipline lasts forever. It's discipline, consistency, same thing. How to get motivated? That you gotta get a group of friends that say, hey, let's get shredded, like I had. You gotta look in the mirror and say enough's enough. You gotta just be tired of being out of breath when you walk up the stairs. You know, you gotta be tired of the way people look at you. Something's got to click, right? And generally when you're going to make that big transformation, something does click, and it's just a matter of what it is that clicks, but something definitely clicks. I mean, you were at 370. What clicked for you? Like, what was that moment?
The moment was like, there was the one that's easy to say, which is not really the truth, but like a year before, like I actually had the aha moment. My doctor said I'd be dead by 24, because statistically, where we talked about math, numbers game, I'd be fucking 500-600 pounds.
Yeah.
And be dead. And the other actual thing, like, some people just have an epiphany or they have an aha moment. Like, I know my mom, she smoked for like 20 years, and then one day she just woke up, she's like, fuck it, I'm gonna quit. Just did a cold turkey. No, that doesn't work for everybody.
No.
But for me, I basically finished high school. That's another story. I didn't really go to high school, but like, I finished high school, and I was just playing video games 12 hours a day. Didn't know what to do in terms of school, didn't have a job, didn't have a social life. I was kind of just like, I just like existing. I had like zero positive impact on society, on life. The only thing I was good at was draining my dad's bank account, spending McDonald's, buying McDonald's. Like, bro, I spent like $2,500 a month on McDonald's. I swear to God. So that's a whole segue for another day.
Yeah.
Like, when people are over like 250 pounds, they're like, I can't afford to hire a trainer. Motherfucker, if you can afford your body at 250, 300, 350 pounds, I don't care if you're hiring me, you could literally just afford to eat healthier. Like, shut up. Like, on average, I know for a fact my clients literally save $300-400 a month. That's not because I'm telling them not to eat McDonald's. It's just because if they want to fucking lose weight, they're not eating it every day.
Yeah.
Right? But the epiphany moment was I woke up one day and I looked in the mirror and I was like, dude, what the fuck? I just like was so sick. I just basically was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
And then that kind of was like the true initial inertia to start, because all the other attempts where, you know, and God bless them, like my parents dragging me to this shit, that shit, whatever, and it was more coming from them, or it was coming from them wanting me to change versus myself. And you really can't change yourself if you don't want to change yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So I have parents reach out to me all the time. They'll see my story and they're like, you have to help my kid, he's 16, he's 300 pounds. I'm like, okay, well, does your kid want help? No. So like, you could pay me, you could drag your kid, and I can train him, but like, that's not going to be effective.
You can lead a horse to water.
You can't force it to drink. I say that all the time, bro. So that was pretty much what kind of kickstarted. And then like, you know, I tried a bunch of different shit. I bought like, you know, whatever, fat burning pills and fucking, I've tried a bunch of shit. None of it obviously worked. I didn't understand anything regarding nutrition or calories and all that stuff. And then all I really did to begin was like I cut McDonald's back from 4 times a day to 3, so obviously calorie deficit, but didn't know that at the time. Yep. And then like I hit a giant plateau where like I was losing weight gradually, and then like I thought I was like the greatest weight loss person on earth. I thought I knew everything, and I obviously didn't know shit. But I didn't lose weight after I lost like 20 pounds, and then like I didn't lose any more weight, and then I was like, what the fuck's going on? Long story short, I confided in my dad. Love that guy. And he just typed in on Google like in-home personal trainer, because I used to make the joke I was too fat to fit in the door at the gym. Granted, it was like, it's both true but also like super self-conscious, wouldn't want to go. And then well, I guess the rest is history. I had this guy came, I love him to death. His name's Atish. I call him Indian Hulk because he's just like this jacked Indian dude. I got him an action figure actually with his face on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Indian Hulk. Yeah, we became really good friends. He's still like one of my best friends to this day. Nice. But like you said, like, and this is, sure, we're biased because this is our profession now, but I know the reason I'm in this industry is because of him and how much of a positive impact he made on my life and how much of a positive impact I like making on other people's lives, right? And it's really, I don't like necessarily convincing people to work, and not with me, but just in general, like an invest in their health, but because it just gets to the point of like being illogical. If you want to get a license, you hire a G1 or G2 person to teach you how to drive a car. if you want to learn how to speak a language, I mean, Duolingo exists, but if you want to properly learn how to learn a language, you would probably hire a tutor or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I don't know why there's like this whole big giant like setback from people to invest into themselves and into their health. It never will make sense to me to the day I die, and that's okay. But like, I don't know. And then sometimes, and I'm kind of going on a tangent because like that's how I started. But like for me, when I reached out, or okay, I didn't reach out for the coach, but the coach poofed out of thin air. My dad's like, hey, tomorrow you have an appointment, or this guy's coming to talk to you. Once I committed, and I didn't back out. I didn't say, oh, I got to think about it. I didn't say I got to talk to my spouse or all like. And I understand like self-belief is a very normal like, oh shit, like it's so scary. I gotta commit. Oh, what happens if it doesn't work? But what the fuck happens if it does work?
Yeah.
Right. And that's what really irks me, because a lot of times when people are afraid to commit, it's because they're afraid to commit. But like, okay, you're in this position right now. What happens if you don't change? You're going to stay the same or get worse.
Yes.
But
it's funny. That's I tell my clients, people hire trainers. Not necessarily because they don't know what to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot don't know what to do, but I've had some come to me that have had trainers for years and they can easily go to the gym or whatever. It's not that they don't know what to do. It's that it's an appointment, it's a meeting, it's something that it's in their schedule that they're going to go to. And that's how they get it's accountability, it's motivation, right? That's why I tell everyone to get a trainer at some point, at least to start off.
Well, and also, like, even if someone doesn't need help for whatever reason with accountability, or they don't need help with nutrition, you need help with your form, right? Because, and this is also like the building blocks or foundation for technically, and not to be overdramatic, but the rest of your life. So if you've never picked up a dumbbell before at whatever age, but especially if you're young, you're like 16, 18, whatever, and you're relying on YouTube videos, that's not the same as having someone like hands-on, or not even hands-on, like physically seeing you see them, all this shit. And even if you go for like 4 sessions, 6 sessions, 10 sessions with a trainer in person, and you go over the foundations of like, whatever, deadlift, because everybody needs to learn how to deadlift, but they fuck that up, and then they fuck their back up.
Yeah. Or
bench press, or whatever, then you carry that for the rest of your life, right? And what's it called? So I think that's, what's it called? I think, I don't know. I don't know why people don't like grasp this concept.
Well, yeah. Well, back to the whole form talk, I tell my clients, the heaviest weight in the gym is the front door, always will be. And it takes 100% effort to go to the gym. And so many people are only reaping 40 or 50% of the benefits because of form, right? Don't get me wrong. Most exercises, you won't hurt yourself with bad form. Deadlifts, you will. Like the compounds, you will. Deadlift, squatting, bench press, that shit, you can really fuck yourself up with bad form.
Yeah.
But bicep curl, you can't, right?
Well, if you go super heavy, sure.
Okay, fair enough. You can tear a bicep. Yeah. But the guy new to the gym is not going super heavy.
I've seen it.
Okay, maybe. Okay.
I was like, good, like, bro. There's some people that, I mean, amen. They went to the gym, they opened the door, they did the hard thing, but holy fuck, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay, so you can get hurt, but for the most part, you want 100% effort to go to the gym. You want 100% result, and proper form and proper technique gets you as close to that 100% as you're gonna get.
Yeah. So on that note, in terms of like, actually, it's not a fantastic segue, but like in terms of client successes, like what are some that you've had, like any like top ones that you want to mention? Or
honestly, so for me, it's I'm not huge in the nutrition side of it. Like I'll help and I'll give advice, but my big thing on nutrition, like even with meal plans, I don't know if you do meal plans.
Yeah.
But I'm not big into meal plans because I believe a meal plan is the same thing as a diet. In sort of ish.
Yeah.
In terms of, when they eat the food that you provide on the meal plan, they're going to lose weight, like if they were on a diet. And then as soon as they go off that kind of concept, they're not going to, lose weight, or they're going to gain weight back. So what I do is I provide macros, and I tell them how to do it, and I give them my MyFitnessPal, and I show them how to do it, and this and that and this, and then I sort of, I'm very accessible to my clients. You can call me, text me anytime. I'll answer any questions you have. But it's kind of like you got to figure it out for yourself a little bit so that you learn more on it. Now I know that's controversial. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. But in terms of successes, my main successes are just honestly just clients getting strong and doing stuff that they never thought they could do. Women, my clientele started off all men, and now it's literally 50-50 between men and women, maybe even more women. And it's just having them do stuff they never thought they could do. I've had a couple clients that came to me from other trainers, and I've noticed, you know, when a trainer gets comfortable with you, they stop raising weights. They kind of keep you for
some of them, yeah.
Some trainers,
Yeah.
not all, of course. You know, so they come to me. I call it detrained, meaning their muscles there, but their muscles dormant. So it's there. They've trained it, but then when we really push that extra level, you know, when he's been doing 50-pound dumbbell benches for the last 6 months, and I put him up to 60, and then the next 70, and the muscle just explodes off them, and then they get surprised, and then they get the compliments start rolling in on them. You know, people start shaking their hand, grabbing their triceps, like, holy shit, what have you been doing, right? That stuff makes me feel good. Like that's
a lot of trip.
Yeah. But like that's my success stories. Like those kind of things, you know, like people getting compliments from other people. Oh, you're going to the gym now? Yeah. Oh, nice. You know, and then yeah, we've had the weight loss success stories, and a couple of those I've posted about. But for me, it's mainly it's more secretive success.
Yeah.
You know, it's them lifting the weight and big smile, like fuck yeah.
No,
you know?
I think that's all that matters. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? It doesn't always have to be like, oh, here's my before and after.
No, exactly.
I tip, like, for me, like, just because of, like, I guess my story and whatever, that's just, I guess, the people that I kind of attract, right? But, like, that's not, even for me, like, that's not, like, the je ne sais quoi. That's not, like, I care more about just, like, the little wins, like you said, and then the little wins and the big, and the little habits and the wins, and then they build to bigger things, right? That's a story, or that's a segue, but, like, in terms of, like, I've had a lot of clients that go and have other trainers or coaches, and like they never had got a lot of success. I think this industry is so oversaturated, even more so now than it ever was because of the internet. Everybody wakes up with a six-pack, they're like, oh, I'm just going to charge people for money. Or there's all these like business coaches that coach coaches for coaches, telling coaches that, hey, you don't need to know shit, just start charging people money.
Well, in my opinion, are you CanFit Pro? Yeah. So I did that too.
That's also a terrible course.
Well, yeah, it doesn't teach you anything about weightlifting.
No,
it teaches you about heart rates, right, and zones. So like when they
the only thing they all I remember, bro, is progressions and regressions.
Yes.
And then, bro, like they didn't even get us to demo anything.
No, I know.
It's all written, and I get it to a certain extent, but like, dude, I could tell you the encyclopedia and anatomy of a body. Who cares? If I don't know how to walk someone through a deadlift, which 900% of clients or trainers do not know how to actually properly run someone through a deadlift. They shouldn't be certified. They just want $1,200.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I see it a lot, and it's unfortunate that, you know, people's bodies are left in these incompetent hands. Like, I don't like bad mouthing trainers, but unfortunately there's a lot of fucking bad trainers out there.
No, I'm not gonna say anybody like specifically in particular, but it's right. Like the one company or a lot of like the commercial places like LA Fitness or Good Life, like they hire such dumbasses, right? And some of them are good, but like majority are so inexperienced and moronic, and then they're also having the audacity to charge someone like a year's worth of like $12,000 or some shit.
Yeah, it's
right?
like 6 months commitment.
Right, and I sure commitments are great, but like, why are you if you're like 20 years old and have never trained someone in your life, and I get it, it's not the 20-year-old's trainer's fault, but the company, like, why are you getting that person to charge Bob a year's worth of $12,000 worth of shit when you don't know shit? Right? It's illogical.
I agree.
But and then a lot of coaches, like, they don't tackle anything with nutrition, or like, I don't know. There's not necessarily a lot of horror stories. There's just a lot of people that have had negative experiences with coaches. But I guess that's why it's like different strokes, different folks. That's why I like doing the podcast, because it's like there's potential like a prospect, or what do you call it, a lead, whatever, someone who's interested in working with me or whatever. They listen to this and they're like, okay, well, he's not a piece of shit. And I mean, if they listen to this whole thing and they're like, oh, okay, I can stomach him, then okay, reach out. But like, I don't know, you know, that's why also I like is when someone reaches out to me, I fucking hate it when they email me or text me. I'll only respond and be like, when can I call you? Because it's like, if I can't call you, first of all, I'm not texting you back and forth. Like, bro, I got questions to ask you. I got to see if we're a good fit, and I got to see if we pass the vibe check. Because if we don't pass the vibe check, I don't want to work with you.
No, it's true. We have to like them as much as they like us.
Otherwise, it's not gonna work, bro. If I'm dreading seeing them, right? What good does that do? I learned that the hard way, because I used to have like a bunch of like menopausal women that I used to train, and I was like, and bro, it was not worth the headache or the aggravation. It's like my arch nemesis archetype, and I mean, I think that's like every person's arch nemesis archetype, to be fair. But it's like, you know, there's the rare outlier who's like nice about it, but like most of them are cuckoo.
Yeah.
And I don't really, I mean, maybe in 30 years from now, I'll take the episode of this podcast down because I'll be 55 years old. But like for the time being, like I don't really care if I'm offending a 55-year-old watching this. Like it's not, especially females. Like if you're a male, that's okay. I have clients that are like that, but
I'm very lucky. Most if not all my clients are referrals from other clients. So everybody in my community kind of knows each other. So like all my clients know each other. Mm-hmm. So like nobody sent me any crazies yet. Not going.
Yeah.
Not going.
That's valid. I wish I got more.
I had one crazy, but I didn't even see her because I could tell she was crazy over the phone. She called me. I want to say she was referred from another trainer, and I want to say she called me 15 times in the first day. Before I even met her.
Wait, she called you 50 times on the first day?
15.
Like after signing up?
She hadn't even signed up yet. Like she was thinking about it. And we were trying to find a time, and she called me 15 times to like just ask me one thing here and one thing here and one thing here. I finally had to lie to her and said our times don't add up. I can't do that.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So what's your biggest like hot take in the fitness industry right now?
Steroids are way too glorified.
Amen.
Yeah, way like beyond like should be illegal. like to like, and it is for the most part, but it should like these fucking 19-year-olds glorifying it. Look at the strength. Look at it's like Alex Eubanks.
Yeah,
right.
That was hard. That was upsetting.
Unfortunately, and Greg talks about him a lot, right? Because unfortunately, well, I don't know about unfortunately, but 8 months ago, he was dogging out like, why the fuck would you do steroids? Why would you do steroids?
Well, and then also his audience, man, are so what's it called?
Easily
like subjective.
influenced.
Yeah, easily influenced. Like they're all wanting to look like him, and now they're like, oh well, in order to look like him, now I also have to take steroids, and they're all around the same age as him. They're like whatever, 17, 18, 19, 20. I mean, that's what Stan Sulik is a different example. He doesn't promote gear, but he also has a gigantic audience, and he's pretty open about the fact that he takes a crap ton of steroids, as well as like there's like another two dumbasses called the Tren Twins.
Yeah,
they literally call themselves Tren Twins. They just take a bunch of Tren.
Yeah.
I completely agree, and then I don't like how many people are like they lie about their usage, right? They'll be like, "Oh, I'm just on TRT," or they'll claim they're natural. It's like people think like The Rock's natural. Like what?
I know.
I
don't understand why people claim natural. Like that to me, like if you're gonna do it, just own it. Like
I mean, no, I don't even care. Like you don't need to necessarily disclose that. Just don't say you're natural.
Well, yeah, just exactly. Like you don't need to say you're on steroids, but do not say I'm natural.
Yeah, because that I believe should actually be illegal and held for like honesty prosecution. Because because some people like so many people don't realize that The Rock's not natural. If he came out and he's like, yo, I take all these steroids, he would lose so much money. And so many people would stop liking him and like buy his Under Armour shit. And because they think they could look like him because of that, right? And I think that is like completely fabricated, misleading, misinformation, a form of advertising, right? If you did that in terms of like digital media, if you ran an advertisement basically for like a weight loss or fat loss supplement, and you're like, yeah, if you take this thing, you'll look like The Rock, and that you could easily get sued.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah. So I think that it's and then people like that are super young that take it, man. Like
I mean like. I'm not completely opposed to steroids. I know TRT is big now for men over 40 if you qualify, right? If you have the low test and all that kind of stuff. But to me, that's not gear. That's legitimate health replacement therapy. If you're 19, like people just want, again, it goes back to the quick results and the instant gratification. If you're not a professional bodybuilder, you do not need to be taking steroids.
I completely agree.
I mean, it's really as simple as that.
I mean, you could do whatever you want. And at the end of the day, it's your body, your choice. But it's also like they don't realize the long-term side effects, short-term health, and also like who cares? You're just stepping on stage. Like I understand if you want to do it for you because you want to whatever your misconceived notion, you want to look the best you can. Fine. But then it's also like you do that, and then you're like promoting that you're a coach, and then like you say that you're not taking anything like.
Here's the problem, and this hits home with me because this happens to a lot of people, especially me, but you think you're invincible until you're not, right? Everybody thinks they're invincible until that one thing happens. For me, it was like Honestly, for me, it wasn't even the heart surgery because I knew I needed the heart surgery. For me, it was like when I almost lost my leg because of the blood thinner complication. Like, you think you can do anything you want to do, and then that one thing happens, and boom, no more.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, in terms of basically like, anything else, like, I don't know, do you like promote like the natural route, or it's just like, do you take any supplements or?
I'm very basic with supplements. I literally take creatine, D3. That's all.
That's it?
That's it.
No like omegas?
No. I've started to research more into the omegas. I just never really researched it. I know everyone starts saying omegas and magnesium and that kind of stuff. I got to be more careful. To be honest with you, I would have loved to try testosterone, the one that Greg promotes. I can't because of the blood thinner.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I look at a supplement, I look it up with blood thinner, and
That's
unfortunately, like 95% of them, they say we don't recommend.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to take testosterone because it is natural, and you know.
Well, I did take it.
Yeah.
I tried it. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, bro, it comes down to like placebo.
Oh, for sure. A couple of my friends tried it. One saw it, something. One didn't. Yeah, that's that. Like, yeah, I'm pretty basic.
Yeah. So
I take the pre-workout and that kind of stuff and all that kind of shit. But
yeah,
yeah, I might get into the omega-3s because I've heard good things about it.
Well, it's just good. It's honestly good for heart health, but you should definitely, obviously, like research it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a physician, but you want to talk about Kanye?
Oh, fuck Kanye. Yeah. I heard his wife divorced him because of that anti-Semitic shit.
Well,
because she realized she's a fucking psychopath.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she just got sick of his antics, but yeah, I don't get that.
He's honestly, he's got.
He needs to take meds, man. But also, like, he needs to get his internet access revoked.
Oh yeah, like I don't understand how Elon hasn't.
I don't get that.
Like, he's cut people for way fucking less. I feel like this guy's promoting. This guy's got more Twitter followers and double the amount of Twitter followers and Jews on the planet. His voice has serious power. Unfortunately, he's seriously got a screw loose. Like something happened to him 3 years ago. Whenever his shit started, I don't know what it was. Nobody knows what it was. It had to be something with a Jewish executive that fired him or quit him or something, cut him off. Something happened with a Jewish executive that made him go off the rails. But the stuff it's kind of mind blowing that it's said like the Super Bowl ad. After I heard about it, I went on the website.
Well, and I don't understand how that was even allowed to air.
Well, here's the thing. So I guarantee you, he had a regular site when he pitched that ad.
Yeah, probably.
And then as soon as the Super Bowl started, once it was already in the rotation, they switched it to the fucking T-shirt
with a swastika on.
With a swastika and HH.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I just, I'm at a loss.
Yeah, I just thought I'd bring it up because I mean we're both Jews.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to meet him in a room. You know what I mean? That'd be an interesting conversation. I would like. Oh no, there would be no conversation.
Oh, I know. You don't lead with violence. You try to, because also, bro, like he's clearly mentally disabled.
Well,
I'm not trying to like give him
he definitely has something going on in his brain.
Like that's just not normal human behavior. Like,
but he should be in a psych ward.
He should be on meds, and he should not be allowed to do what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. He should be on meds and locked away.
I wouldn't say locked away.
And in an insane asylum.
But something changed. You know, old Kanye was pretty nice. Well, I don't know him personally, but like the music was good and whatever. And now what he's doing is.
Honestly, he should be like, people have gotten canceled for way less.
Oh yeah.
Right.
No, but people just give him the excuse. Oh, it's just Kanye. Oh, he's fucked in the head. Oh. Yeah, imagine if Imagine if Trump did that shit.
Yeah, or just anybody saying something about African Americans like that. Like Mark Wahlberg goes off the rails and starts saying stuff about African.
Or he starts wearing the Kanye's trying to get a jeweler to make him a swastika chain. And you know what's funny? Like every jeweler that does that are all Jewish. I don't know anyone that's gonna actually do it. I'm sure you'll find someone.
Well, look, my mom always said money buys everything.
Yeah.
Like there's a price on pretty much everything. Right?
Unfortunately,
so you pay someone $10 million for a $5 million chain. They'll make it.
Yeah, that's valid. Right. So how do you juggle everything you got going on with like life, being a trainer, husband, father?
We have a nanny.
Okay,
So
good answer. And cut. All right.
Yeah, we have an Annie, so that definitely helps. You know, my older one's in school, so that's good. You know, one of the toughest things for me is I don't work from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
any day because I want to be there for dinner time, bedtime, all that kind of stuff. And unfortunately, that's prime time for a lot of people, right from work and all that kind of stuff. You know, I take for granted how, I'm not going to say how easy it is for me to stay fit, but how easy it is for me to get to the gym because it's my life. I live in the gym, you know. People that work 9 to 5s, I know how fucking hard it is to get into the gym, to go to your job all day, to sit at a desk, to go home, have dinner, then go to the gym, or go straight from work to go to the gym, or go before work. It is tough. Like I said, if it was easy, everybody would do it. But yeah, no, it's not that crazy. You know, I do my workouts, I go to the gym, I work, you know, I start at 7 a.m. most days. I work till 8 p.m. most days because I just love doing it. Like, do I need to work till 8 p.m.? No. But I love it. I honestly, I truly found a passion and a love for this stuff. I love seeing people succeed. I love helping people. I love changing people's bodies. I love helping them change their own bodies. I love watching their success. I love when they text me, you know, on a Saturday that they just did the treadmill. They text me their treadmill workout. I'm like, that's fucking amazing. Like, good for you, bro. My wife's great. My wife supports it. You know, she's a hairdresser. We both work out of our house. We have 2 great jobs. We got a salon in the house. We got a gym in the house.
It's good rent.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not that, you know, I'm lucky. It's not that hard to balance.
So, do you plan on getting like your kids into working out early? Like, how old are they?
So my oldest is 4.5. My youngest is 1.5.
Yeah, you gotta start them young.
Oh yeah. I do. Like, they're in there.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Like they, you know, my older of the 2, you know, said to me randomly, "Daddy, let's go exercise."
Nice.
Fucking right, let's go.
Yeah, that's how you know it's your kid.
Right? Yeah, right. Like he said it to me, and this just proves that, you know, parents have such an influence on the kids.
Oh,
he
yeah.
sees me always working out. He sees me eating healthy. I'm always talking about it. I'm always in my big muscle shirts. He calls them. Right?
Yeah.
Daddy, I want to wear a big muscle shirt. So I give him a fucking big muscle shirt.
Get him the Superman, like,
exactly.
compression.
Teach him how to flex, teach him how to do everything.
That's sick, man.
Yeah, so we got him in there. You know, I got a couple reels out of them working out. And,
That's sick,
you know, honestly, teach him young, lead by example. Never discourage.
Yeah.
Right? Never yell at them in there. You know, unfortunately, I had to get mad at them once in there because, you know, people, and not people, but, well, people too.
Yeah.
They forget that there's some serious equipment.
Yeah,
in
you
there.
can get injured.
You can get seriously hurt, right?
Yeah.
So, and I've told them, you know, when we're in here, you listen to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, there he goes, hiding behind the machine with all the cables on it. And I'm like, okay, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know,
no, but that's reasonable.
No, of course. You know, I feel bad doing it.
Yeah.
But it's either that or he's going to drop a dumbbell on his foot and
You've
break
always
it.
put a leash on him.
Of course.
There's always child. I remember I was on Von Mills one time, and I was like, dude, that's the most genius and stupidest thing at the same time. There was a kid on a leash, basically.
Oh, it's the best thing.
And they clipped the kid to the hip. But I guess, like, it's funny, but it's effective.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I said, when I used to work at Wonderland, we had so many lost kids.
Yeah.
15 a day.
That's insane.
I literally suggested they hand out leashes.
Yeah.
Like, but kid leash. They were
Yeah, no, like, not around their neck, by the way.
Like, no, yeah. No, and then I went to, before I had my second son.
Maybe that's Kanye's next thing.
Yeah. We went to Florida with my older son, and I bought one of those, like, it was a Mickey Mouse leash. My wife, I've had some great ideas, and my wife originally turned down right away, and then realized that they're an unbelievable idea. Playpen was one of them in the house. You know, I bought it. Within a week, we had a bigger playpen.
Nice.
You know, it was one of those. Leash, same thing.
Yeah.
And it turned out my son actually liked wearing it. Right? It was
well, it also gives them, like, more freedom, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a backpack that you have a string to.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's not like like people say leash. It's not. It's a backpack with a string.
Yeah.
Right? Make sure they don't fucking run off into the ocean or get lost or get stolen. I mean, it's genius.
It is pretty genius. I mean, or you could just, like, stick an AirPod on them, but, like...
Well, the AirTags.
Yeah, or AirTag, yeah. So, the last thing I was curious about is, like, in terms of, like, business, like, in terms of, like, transitioning from what you were doing to, like, now, like, you're obviously, like, you have your own business, like, was there any challenges, or, like... How did that work?
I mean, you know, starting off any business, there's going to be some challenges. The only challenge I have for me was getting clients.
Yeah.
You know, so the thing about me is I know I can sell people in person.
Yeah.
So I used to, before I got busy, is offer the first session for free.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of trainers do that. And I knew, and I had one person out of 100 people that didn't sign up.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone else signed up because they love it, because you're gonna love it. There's nothing. You're going to love it if you have the mindset that I want to start working out. You're going to love it, especially if you have a trainer that's personable and talkative and walks you through everything and nice and easy. It's not too hard, you know. And it's funny because I've had a couple clients that, you know, because I always start off super light, lock in the form, and then we get heavier. You know, they're like, you tricked me. Right when it starts getting heavier, they're like, you tricked me. It was so easy before.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, this is how we build muscle.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, but no, honestly, that was the only thing, was just getting clients, and then once it snowballs, and you know, as long as you're good at what you do and you're friendly, and you don't hurt anybody, and all that kind of stuff. They're like, in my community, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just referral after, like, this person's, oh, I just told my sister about you. I just told my best friend about you. You know, and that was basically the only real challenge, and now it's not a challenge. Now we're good to go.
Yeah. So, is there any advice that for like any trainers like trying to build their online presence or personal brand or?
Well, see, online presence, I want to be more online. Yeah. I'm not.
Yeah.
I would love to be more online coaching, just to free up some of my time.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Because the unfortunate truth is, you're never going to get rich being an in-person trainer.
Trading time for money.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you want to get even a little bit close, you're working 12-hour days, and you're gonna just burn out.
And then the second you get injured or you're sick, you want to go on vacation, your income goes to shit.
Exactly. So I mean, for online, just consistency, like just advertise. Like, I'm just going with that whole thing. Like, I want to be Insta famous, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. Like, to an extent. And it's just, it doesn't happen overnight, and I keep telling myself that. I post every day. I post twice a day. I post in a reel every single day, and I'm just going to keep doing that until something picks up, hopefully, until The Rock shares one of my stories to his 400 million followers or something like that. Like, that's essentially, for the most part, what it takes. In terms of building a brand, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do it. Just grab the balls or whatever, and just, you know, take the risk.
It's the same thing with fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, just start.
Just start. That's it. Just start.
So where do you see yourself in the next few years? Is there like anything coming up? Anything you want to plug?
Nah, not really. I mean, you know, I've debated competing.
Really?
I have debated competing.
You need a darker tan.
I know. Not the Israel tan.
Yeah. Oh, bro, that guy should not go on stage again. God damn.
No, like, I thought about competing when I was 40, which is this year, coming up this year, like a 40th birthday present to myself. Then I thought that, you know, the dark side of competing, which people don't talk about, is it really is super unhealthy.
Yeah.
To get that, like, you're really not supposed to be some 10% body fat, right?
No.
Dehydrated, all that stuff.
Diuretics.
I'm happy with my physique, you know, with the heart and everything. Maybe when I'm 45 and my kids are older, I can do. I'm also not one of those people that's entering competition just to say I did a competition.
Yeah.
I'm gonna win the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, so I'm going balls to the wall, and it's just not the right time. Eventually I might be on the stage one day. But yeah, no, that's it. Nothing to plug. Just, you know, Dreamcrest Pizza, code Bexx. Instagram Coach Bexx.
Yeah, I mean, all your stuff will be what's it called? All your stuff will be below. I mean, I guess that's we'll put a bow on this one. So if anyone's still watching, thanks. If you could do all the free stuff and subscribe, like this, review it. I don't know what else. Comment. And then all his stuff will be in the description and Spotify or on YouTube.
And until next time, move that body.
Yeah, get off the couch. If you're actually listening to this right now on the toilet or on the couch or like in your bed,
listen to it on the treadmill.
Just literally listen to this on the treadmill. And I think that's a good way to end this. Well, thanks for listening. Say bye.
Peace out.
All right, bye.